So this is just really, really unfortunate news, but it seems as though Destiny is actually officially over. Bungie has announced that there's going to be a bunch of layoffs. We got PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst also kind of chiming in and goes a little bit more into detail in his post. Very sad day for both the players and, of course, the developers. A lot of people losing their jobs today as well, so you feel for them in that regard. But obviously, we've been covering Destiny for a very long time here on the channel since the very beginning. Been with it from the very start, and we've talked a lot about it recently. Covered the update, the final update, and all these different things. And yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks a lot. But anyways, I'm not gonna waste any time. We're gonna jump straight into this. Not if you enjoy the news, because the news sucks, but if you enjoy this kind of content, stick around for more. You can check out all the other links down in the description below, other YouTube channels, social media, all that good stuff. But anyways, let me go over to the first image. So this one is from Bungie themselves. Okay, so they said, with great sadness, we are announcing a reduction in force as we reorganize Bungie. As the leaders of Bungie, past and present, we recognize Destiny 2 fell short of expectations these past several years. Following our final content update to Destiny 2, and with our future projects still in early incubation, we unfortunately could not continue operating at our previous size. We know this decision has a profound impact on the people affected, their families, friends, and teammates. While these changes are necessary to best position the studio now and for the future, that does not lessen the difficulty of this moment or the impact it has on those affected. Later, we will share more about that future with you all, but today is not that day. Today, we wish to extend our gratitude and compassion to every member of the Bungie team who has been impacted, and to those who remain. We hope you will do the same. Signed, Bungie. Now, we're going to go to Herman Hulst in a second, but I want to just quickly note this one here. This is coming from the leadership at Bungie. Now, obviously, I get it. In the position they are currently in, yes, I get it. From a business perspective, there's not really many, there's not really another choice in this, right? You have to reorganize. I get that part. The problem is why are we here in the first place, which is the leadership's failures again and again and again. And amongst other things, right? I made a video on this, and we kind of went into multiple different factors that I think are all contributing factors. If you missed that video, I'll link it down in the description below, the top of the description, excuse me. But again, it sucks because these leaders, the leadership, did not do a very good job, man. They really, really, really messed things up, man. Especially Pete Parsons, who really messed things up, and then kind of just, tucked his tail and ran for the hills with all that he had. Anyways, the point is, it's unfortunate. It really sucks why we got here. Herman Hulst, on the other hand, he's going to explain a little bit more. He says, and I quote, "Dear team, today I want to share a final difficult update regarding Bungie. We have made the decision to reduce Bungie's workforce, affecting a significant number of employees, including most of the Destiny team." So there's your answer, by the way, how much of the Destiny's team is gone. And some of the Marathon team as well, members, he says. There are also reductions across SIE teams that support Bungie's operations. So, I mean, this is a rippling effect across, everything. Those impacted at Bungie and within SIE are being informed today. This is painful news, especially for talented colleagues whose roles have been eliminated. This decision was made only after extensive discussion and careful consideration. And I want to provide some context on how we arrived here. Over the past several months, together with Bungie leadership, we reviewed the studio's long-term direction, development priorities, resource needs, and role within our broader portfolio strategy. We explored multiple alternatives before concluding that a reduction was necessary to align the studio's resources with its current priorities and long-term goals. As Bungie recently shared in its Destiny 2 update, the studio has begun a new journey following the release of the game's final live service content update. What Bungie has accomplished with Destiny over the past decade has been truly remarkable. The franchise has left a lasting mark on our players and on the industry. And everyone who contributed to its success should be proud of what they helped create. Marathon remains an important part of our portfolio, and we'll continue to support the team as they build on the strong foundation established in Season 1 and Season 2. and as they work on incubation efforts on future projects. While it's still too early to discuss, we are encouraged by the creativity and opportunities that lie ahead. Our immediate priority is supporting affected employees through this transition. We are providing transition support and, where possible, working to identify opportunities across SIE and our global network of studios. I want to sincerely thank everyone every affected employee for their hard work, creativity, and contributions to Bungie, SIE, and the broader gaming community. I know today's news is deeply difficult, not only for those leaving, but for those colleagues and friends that remain. Please take the time you need to process the news and support one another. Thank you for your resilience and continued support during this difficult time. Signed, Herman Hulst, CEO, Studio Business Group. End quote. So, lots of stuff to unpack there. I mean, again, it's kind of more of the same, right? It's more of like, okay, well, Bungie, wasn't meeting expectations. Okay, I get that part. Again, you know what? I made this argument before. Like, Sony could have probably stepped in a little bit sooner. They could have probably so that Destiny did not have to necessarily end. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Okay, I don't work there, but I can imagine that there was probably an opportunity at some point to be like, okay, hey, we can see that things are kind of being a little bit mismanaged here before this gets too out of hand, or maybe it was already too out of hand before Sony even bought Bungie. But then again, the question remains, like, why spend that much money then if you know that things are going to be such a mess anyways? It feels more like a knee-jerk reaction to Microsoft buying Activision, Blizzard, and all that. So I don't know. We're not sure if that is the case, but anyways, point being is it makes you wonder, like, okay, well, what's up with that? And then they're saying too, he's saying like Marathon is an important part of our portfolio. I made a video recently. It really upset a lot of Marathon fans. Like, sorry, not sorry kind of a thing. I tried Marathon. I gave it a fair shake, and it just didn't grip me. I want to love it. I love Bungie. I've been with Bungie since the Oni days. I want to play their games, but it just, to me, Marathon just ain't it. And the player base is proving that as well, that it doesn't have a strong player base. It's struggling most of the time to hit like 10K players and whatnot. And I don't know, it's just, from what I see, it's not doing a very good job. And first of all, it's a very niche genre to begin with, extraction shooters. And I think it's just not, they've done a very bad job in introducing new players to the game and giving people a reason to want to play the game, and besides, like I said, the kind of more hardcore core group that are playing the game, which again is not big. I mean, I just don't see that being sustainable in the long term. So he's saying, we had a strong foundation established in season 1 and 2, and I'm like, where? You know what I mean? Again, if you love the game, I'm glad for you. I'm great, awesome. But the fact is like, where? Because it's not that strong of a foundation. I made an example of kind of, saying like Arc Raiders, they had a strong start. They gave, they gave people a reason to be interested from the get-go, to even buy the game from the, out of the gate. Not a lot of people bought Marathon out of the gate. You know what I mean? And again, they're kind of different games, but they're both extraction shooters. And some people say, well, yeah, Marathon's harder. Well, okay, sure. But at the end of the day, like I said, the point that I'm making is that Arc Raiders has done a lot better of a job at kind of, giving people a reason to be interested in the game in the first place. Again, extraction shooters are kind of a niche genre that a lot of people are just not into. A lot of people might dabble in them a little bit here and there, but for the most part, most people are not really super into them and whatnot. So to kind of see, and again, I get Marathon it costs less to maintain, but to see them saying like, oh, that's kind of our focus, right? And, Destiny would have cost a lot of money to kind of either, reorganize or make a Destiny 3 or whatever. But maybe they could have, I don't know. Again, he says they checked out all these different alternatives. Maybe this was an alternative they kind of, explored. But maybe, as much as I hate to say it, a subscription model, maybe I don't like those kind of models, personally speaking. But anything else, maybe something else could have worked for Destiny better, because the game had a hardcore fan base. And look, you can see the fan base has showed up with the final update. It's doing pretty good. Even on dead days before the final update, it was still pulling like 200K concurrent viewers daily almost, players, which is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's not completely dead either. So I don't know. You mean, like, it sucks, right? You're seeing such a great franchise that had so much potential for longevity just, basically be buried. And there's a lot of variables in this, like I said. So I don't know. The point is, most of the Destiny team is gone. That's what they just said. They're laying them off, and they do have other projects in the incubation period state right now. Obviously, that's not going to be Destiny from what it sounds like. It's going to be maybe new IPs. What can that entail? I don't know. Your guys is as good as mine. I would love to see kind of Bungie kind of over the years come back around and come back strong. Maybe new IPs or something. I don't think Marathon is going to be that game. I really don't. I think Marathon is going to be sort of a game that they have their little niche game on the side there, but it's not going to be their driving factor unless something really changes with that game. And that's just the facts. That's not even subjective. That's just like, we can see that most people are just not really into that kind of game, and that's that. So I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. It sucks for the people involved. Obviously, it sucks for the players because, again, Destiny had a very strong, community, if you will. And that was a huge game. And like I said, it had potential, man. Like, I know this is subscription-based, but games like World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14, those games have been going on and on and on. Again, subscription-based. Maybe that's what Destiny needed to be. Maybe Destiny just could not figure out its identity, soon enough. And it became hard to kind of maintain over the years. I don't know. It's really disappointing because there is no other game like it. There literally is no other game like it. People have searched and searched and searched. There's no other game like it. Like, you can say The Division 2, you can say Warframe. Those are great games, but they're not, like, they're not the same. They're nowhere near the same as what Destiny was offering. It was completely different. So that's my ramble. That's my rant. Let me know your thoughts. And again, thoughts going out to all those that are going to be searching for new jobs, and for all the players who are obviously going to be extremely bummed out about this news as well. That it's just like, we had hope. Maybe we can rile it up. Maybe you can all show up on the final update. Maybe we can do a petition. And that all did pretty good. I mean, people showed up, right? But Sony just like doesn't care. They're just like, sorry, no, it's not happening. So whatever, man. What can you do? That's it. I guess an era is over. It's sad, but hopefully, like I said, there's a strong future for Bungie if they can turn things around somehow, some way. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay well. Until the next one. Game on. See you guys later.